have our very exciting film review with, of course, Tasnim. Welcome. How are you today?
Good, thank you. It's lovely to be back.
Of course, as always, a delight. So tell me, what 3 films do you have for us today?
So they're all recent films that you can still watch in the cinemas. We've got Alien Romulus.
Okay, I've heard of that.
We have Blink Twice with Channing Tatum in it.
Okay, I understand. I get it.
Yeah. And we have The Short Life of Robert Peace.
Okay, fine. So let's talk about the first movie. What's that first movie about?
So Alien Romulus is part of the franchise Alien, with the original movie being from 1979. So this is like sort of a throwback to that. So I think the audience that this movie is meant for is quite niche.
Okay.
So a lot of the movie centres around having those sort of horror and like gore and graphic imagery of
Right.
that is very much similar to the original movie.
Right.
So I'd say the storyline, which is centred around a group of 5 people who are stranded in a spaceship, and it just goes through their lives trying to survive on this spaceship and trying to get out.
Yes.
And there are some like twists and turns that happen, for example, with a pregnant passenger
Right.
who needs to figure out how to give birth on this spaceship. But I would say that I think the storyline was quite limited, and I think they relied on their graphic CGI and horror aspect to keep the movie going.
Okay, so out of a 10, how much would you rate it?
I think I'd give it like a 4 or a 5, just because I think it
Okay.
leaned too heavily on the gore and linking back to its original movie. So I think
Maybe, yeah.
compared to the original Alien movies, it sold itself a bit short.
Okay, I'll
that respect.
cross that off my list. Okay, so the second movie, I think it's The Short and the Tragic Life of Robert Peace. What's that movie about?
So this is a movie about Robert Peace, who is a guy from a crime-ridden village called Newark in America,
Right.
and he has the opportunity to pursue further education in Yale, so an Ivy League, which is like unheard of for someone from his village. From someone from his town, a very small town that's filled with like crime and like people not necessarily taking part in further education.
Yes.
So this explores this guy's life and how like the 2 bits of his life that he's struggling with. So his life at Yale and his life back at home, because he's very much conflicted. Because even whilst he's at Yale, whilst he's trying to pave a new life for himself, trying to get out of poverty, his home life is still impacting him. Like, for example, his dad is incarcerated in prison.
Oh, wow.
He's caught up in some drug things. I won't spoil too much,
No, of
but
course.
it's a struggle for him. So this movie, I think, very succinctly describes, like, it kind of takes you, it has a nuanced view on the successes and failures of this guy's life.
Right.
And I think the directing was trying to challenge like audiences' perception or narrow perception of failure, since it goes through this guy's life in a very tragic way. I also think this movie deals with some topics very well. So I think it deals with like the racism and
Right.
the classism that Robert faces at Yale in a
Yes.
very nuanced and very sensitive way.
Okay, so how would you rate that out of a 10?
I think this was a really interesting and good movie.
Okay, and this one's in the cinemas, is it?
Yeah.
Okay, fine. Okay, and moving on to the third movie, Romulus. What's this movie about?
The third movie is Blink Twice.
Oh, Blink Twice, is it? Oh, yeah, because you spoke about Romulus, didn't we? Yes. Go on.
So this movie, it's got Channing Tatum on it, so it's a bit more big budget
Okay.
than the second one. This one is about a private island, and is about a young girl trying to explore this island. So she's initially invited to this island as part of, like, under the pretense of being a guest for a party, but then she ends up having to having to uncover the horrors that are occurring in this island. So this
Right.
movie is essentially about the dynamics between power and wealth, because the character that Channing Tatum plays is very wealthy. He's a billionaire. He's a very wealthy character,
Right.
and it's all about how he has control and like the manipulative dynamics between him and other characters in this movie. So it's all about those sort of sinister relationships, and I describe it as a psychological thriller because of
Okay.
that. I will say though that the directing is beautiful. I think the director does a very good way at exploring the more sinister elements through like the cinematography, for example,
Yes.
and the pacing. But I will say that by focusing on more of the sinister, more of the like the power dynamic and more of the cinematography, I think she reduces the quality of the actual storyline that's happening and the character development,
Right,
which
okay.
isn't very much there at all.
Okay, fine. So what did you enjoy most about this movie then, if anything?
I think I liked this movie's exploration, or how it tried to explore how power and wealth can lead to very unfortunate situations.
Right.
Like there are not hints, but it explores like sexual violence and things like that.
Okay.
And I think it does an interesting exploration of that.
Is that sort of a movie that I can watch with my family? Or...
No.
Okay. Maybe watch alone.
Yeah, and I think it has very dark themes,
Okay.
and also
So what age group are we looking at?
probably like 16 and above.
16 and above, okay. I'm sure parents will check before they let their children watch the show, the movies. But okay, so how much would you rate this out of a 10?
I think it was a good 7.
7, okay, fine. All right then, what did you enjoy most about all three movies? Was there a common element in any of them?
No, but I think a lot of them did try to explore deeper themes,
Yeah.
which is quite nice.
Yeah.
And I think some of the more recent films try to be more surface level, whereas
Right.
these still stay connected to their like deeper themes, which
Of course, which is quite interesting, of
Yeah.
course, because a lot of the movies they don't catch my interest. But I think the second one, the short and tragic life of Robert
Yeah.
piece, sounds very
I had a
interesting
feeling
as
you'd
well.
like that one.
Yeah, I think I might tick this one off my list. Tick. And that one, of course, I can watch at the cinemas. Okay, fine. I think you might need to take me, inshallah. But thank you so much for being on the show today, and
you for
inshallah, I will
having
see
me.
you on the next one.